Hi there and welcome to Jay's Toy Collection UK. Once again, live on YouTube. Hello, I am alive. Yes, I am alive. And welcome back to this week in toys, which I say is merged into this month in toys, into this quarter in toys. It's some form of time in toys. But I am back here once again. Where have I been, you may ask? Where have I been? Well, there's a video on the channel explaining that, and we will get to that in due course. But it's been a couple of weeks since a video, and probably at least a month since a live stream, so the algorithm probably hates me now. So do make yourself known in the live chat if you are there, and we will get the conversation going, because I am flying solo tonight. Because Cheeky Monkey Kiara has decided that she'd pick tonight of all nights to go to the cinema with her sister. So once again, Cheeky Monkey is not here. And I believe Adam Batman is out gallivanting probably with the ladies. He will let us know on the replay. So you've got me. And you've got me doused in pinky purple light in a new background you may notice since the last time we were live on the channel. Because, yeah, a lot has happened and a lot has moved around in here in the office area. So I think I've got the camera in the right place. I think I'm looking down the camera now. Now I'm looking at the laptop and there's a screen up there. So I could be looking anywhere as the stream goes on throughout the evening. But yes, I am back. Hopefully YouTube has sent out all those notifications to all the channel members and subscribers out there, and you will join me throughout this week in toys, because there's a lot to catch up on basically since I was last live on YouTube. I've got quite a few tabs to go through, everything from toy tariffs, yeah, a bit of politics, to Haulathon. That's happened. A bit of Haulathon has happened. That happened literally this afternoon. Marvel Legends, they've sprung a Todd McFarlane. They've left the tap on, so that's happened. So yeah, that is all to be covered. And pickups, they're here at the side of me today. I've tried to be a bit more organized in this new layout, at least for now. So, yes, plenty of pickups to go through, because I may have been off YouTube for a while, but things still got delivered to my door as we went through. My drinks on this side now, still the trusty Spider-Man cup. And I bought some spare water to keep me going for the next hour and a half or so as we go through this week in toys. So I have had a bit of an office redo, as you can see. I'm in the same room, but in a sort of a different location on the side of the room. I used to sit way over that side of the room, but now I'm on the other side, and the units have changed. So if you've seen the video that went up yesterday on the channel, you've seen the installations of the new IKEA white Kallax units, rather than the black ones they had in here. And it's a completely different layout because the bed has been ripped out of the room. I've managed to change the light to purple. Managed to put the Jay's Toy Collection logo, the 3D printed logo, is now permanently attached to the door. So this thing is going to need to be filled up with toys as the weeks goes on. Because I can roll back now. See, this is a bonus. Hopefully you can still hear me. But I can actually go all the way. I can go to the back of the room and I can swivel. So plenty more room. And over there is a window. Yes. I have not blocked the window up in the toy room. There is no blocked window in here. Well, toy room, I say. We're going to call this the toy room 2. The office, if you will, is now the toy room 2. The bed that we didn't use, only Craig ever slept on that bed anyway. So that thing's been ripped out. And we now have basically 2 double deep 25 cube Kallaxes, so 50 cubes in there. So plenty of more display space to come. If I go across my rug, look at that for a sexy start on the channel there. So do let me know in the chat if you can actually hear me, because it might be a bit echoey because there's no toys in here hardly. So until we actually get some more furniture stuff in here, it might be a bit echoey, but hopefully it's coming through okay. So I thought I'd try a bit of a different lighting setup. I tried the standard white lights yesterday, and it was far too bright in here. It was washing me out, it was. And I do like the sort of pink channel colours, so I changed the to one of the fancy Alexa light bulbs to change its color, and I've got my ring light on, so I can go through different settings there. So that's a bit bright on the old eyes. So something down here, a relaxed tone for the evening. I can see you all rolling in now, so let's do a bit of housekeeping as we go through then. So, of course, it is an official episode of This Week in Toys. So that means one thing, of course, can we keep the streak alive? Yes, so we've had at least one super chat throughout the entire history of This Week in Toys, so we can keep the streak alive tonight. Much appreciated, everybody. And I think we already have, as I head over to this tab here. And yes, Madison Kingswood. So channel member Madison Kingswood, thank you very much, Madison, who has put in a £10 super chat there and says, glad to have you back, Jay. Yes, I am glad to be back. I've never had so many messages of well wishes since the accident that we'll get into in a second. So thank you very much there, Madison, for the £10 super chat. And thank you to everybody with all the well wishes and comments since this idiot. Well, if you haven't seen the video, I'll do a piece to camera. Hope you're looking at the camera right now. I fell through a ceiling, ladies and gentlemen. I fell through a ceiling. Yes, I fell through the ceiling, but the action figures did save my life indeed, because I'm not dead. I'm still here, and I have no broken bones. There's a bit of irony here. I think my brother-in-law tripped over in the kitchen the other day, fell literally no height at all, and has pulled his shoulder out. So he's pulled his shoulder out from no height. This idiot falls 10 feet, like a wrestler, in elbow drop position, and like a bit of bruising, and that's pretty much all I've suffered already. So thank you, Madison, for the super chat. But of course, we do have, still on here somewhere, the thank you for the super chat graphics. So let's get Mammy out straight away.
Thank you for the super chat.
So thank you for the super chat, Madison. So the streak is still alive here for This Week in Toys. And Mammy is very happy indeed. So, yes, what did I do? How did I fall through a ceiling? How did I fall through a ceiling? Well, there is full coverage. Let me see if I can get the present screen buttons working these days. So we want to do share. Oh, they've moved the share. They've moved everything since I was last on here. They've moved everything around. Why have they gone and done that for? So, well, I don't even know what I'm going to be sharing now. We could be sharing absolutely anything here. Window, that one. That might work. Is that okay? That is it. Why have they've changed it on me live as we go through this? But that is what happened. As you can see, the damage. So if you haven't checked out the video, the video was uploaded on the channel yesterday. So go and check that out, because there is the images there, the aftermath of my ceiling. So Cheeky Monkey did ring the ambulance for me, but she also took some photos of the ceiling there, the initial damage that was caused by this idiot falling through the ceiling. So thank you, Cheeky Monkey, for doing that. What a shame that I didn't actually record the thing. I was moving boxes in the loft, stood where I should not have stood, and straight through the bit that wasn't boarded is the basic version of what's happened to this idiot. But you can see the full video for full coverage. So I don't like this new share screen feature, because why can't I change the tab? So let me have a... What are they doing here? How have they changed this? Let me have a fiddle with this. So we're going to remove that. We don't want that. So we're going to stop that share. We're going to present. So we don't want a slide or a PDF. Why can I not? They've changed things. See, why are they changing things? They give me a month off. What? So we can share images. If we don't invite, we want to share that. And we want to share a tab, don't we? We want to share a tab. Let's try that. There we go. Share the tab. There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Mastered StreamYard. Mastered it live as we are on the air there. StreamYard has been fully mastered. We can share the screen properly, so I can actually navigate through the tabs now from this, because that would have been a bit awkward for this evening, having to flick through live different screens. But yes, do go check out the video. Action figures saved my life. It's not clickbait. It is true, because that is what happened to me. We have a channel membership token, so thank you to the channel members there, and it is Damien. Could we talk a little Mondo Real Ghostbusters later, boss. Yes, we can, sir. That is a tab that's opened. It's probably about tab number 16, but it is a tab that is open. So yes, Damien, we will get to that as we go through the evening. I can see nearly 20 of you now in the chat. So the algorithm must have started the sharing. Everybody's dropping in. So we will come say hello to everybody in the live chat there. And I'm assuming you can hear me because somebody would told me if we wouldn't. So who was in first? So Damien was in first. And then we have Mike Hex is in there. Was there leaks? Yes, there has been leaks. We will get to those. Tac Tac is with us. Hello, Mark. How are you doing? On this glorious spring evening, and I've just shut the blinds, so I can't see this glorious spring evening anymore. There's live from the hole. Well, the hole has been patched. That could have been. I could have read that in another way. And we had the super chat there from Madison. So again, thank you for that. We have Mike X again. Virtual Dave is here. Hello. Jay is alive and kicking. Yes, I am indeed. And Encountered Culture. Hello to Kenny. Save those action figure boxes. Yes, they did. I landed on the action figure boxes. So that is how action figures saved my life, because they helped break my fall, because I was chucking old boxes that I was going to throw out of action figure boxes down the loft hatch. So I actually landed on those, which well, that helped break the fall. So no serious injuries were sustained. A few feet to the left-hand side, I'd have plummeted about 20 foot down the stairs. So that would not quite have been so good. So luckily, that did not happen. So yes, action figure boxes did save my life. And Kenny, actually, shout out Counter Culture, because I was actually watching his video at the time. So I was up in the loft, moving those boxes around, and I was watching his news video. And then I decided to fall through, but my phone was still up there. So the paramedics, and the nice female paramedics, two ladies came and saved me. And one of them had to climb up the broken ladder to go and get my phone, because it was auto playing a load of videos after Kenny's video finished. So he got some extra view time from me, and a paramedic had to go and turn him off. So yes, shout out and Count Culture. I don't know how I should take that, Kenny, really. Your video nearly killed me. I could have phrased a video like that. Hello to Super Turk. Evening all. Hope all is well. Hello, Tanner. Yes, I'm okay. Did an elbow hop through the ceiling? Yes, I did. This elbow, I think you can see there, there's a bit of bruising that still remains there. Nothing too major now. But that elbow that never used to stick out so much, did that elbow there. So still suffering some form of wound from the incident, but nothing too bad. I was very Mick Foley style, yes, as I took a dot. And hello as well to the name Dan Who Cannot Say. So I'm going to try it for the first time. Hello there to Mikata. I'm going to go for Mikata. I'm going to try Mikata. We'll see. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe it's Ben otherwise. Hello. So I've caught up with everybody in the chat. Do keep chatting away throughout the evening. Get your questions in. Talk to me, because I am literally going to be sat here on me lonesome otherwise, so keep me entertained in the chat. And we'll go back. But of course, if you're not a channel member yet, I think we're just over 10 members now. So thank you to everybody that is a channel member. We have hit the double figures. So if you'd like to join a channel membership and help support the channel, because content will be coming back, you can do. There's my fancy little video. Yes, so we've got hashtag flip open the flap. That will get you the emojis in the chat. So channel members in the chat, or those on the replay crew, drop your channel member emojis in the chat. We have got Todd McFarlane's face. We've got my logo. We've got Cheeky Monkey logos and a bit of Classic Dick. What other YouTube channel has a Classic Dick emojis? All yours on the flip open the flap tier. Just hit that join button on your phone or on the laptop device. Or if you'd like to go the one step further, we do behind the scenes content on the wedding fund tier. So I haven't done the behind the scenes video since I've returned, so I must get on and do another one of those. The last one I did was actually up from the loft. So if you do want to see the only ever video recorded in the loft, become a channel member at the wedding fund tier, and you will be able to see that, because that was the only time I've ever actually recorded up there. And now I've been officially banned from displaying in the loft due to my accidental nature of falling but Cheeky Monkey did let me rip the bed out in here. So I've actually got way more space in here and a much more cool temperature. The fact I got a window or a heater if I need one than I would have had in the loft space. So actually, a bit of a bonus has occurred, really. Who else falls through a ceiling and ends up with a second toy room, effectively? So, yeah, shout out Cheeky Monkey. She's not here, but, well, that's gone well indeed. Else jumping in. Yeah, we've got the channel member emojis there. If I show them on StreamYard there, man, it's I get J Monkey, Classic and Todd, because that is the name of the emojis. I should have called the emojis Dick, really. I didn't. And Cloud Foxwell's here. Hello to Cloud. Now, Cloud did join me on my recent Mythic Legions stream. We will get to the Dragon and Mythic Legions pickups. And I think that's a good section. So I will start, actually, a bit of a segue there, into pickups. Because there's a lot of tabs to go through today. There's been so much toy news. I hope that I can entertain you for the rest of your evening. Space on the Shelf is joining us as well. Evening all. Hello there to Pete. Space on the Shelf is joining us. So before I get into pickups, the only video I haven't played so far, I love this video. Just letting you know that Super Chats are live. Courtesy of Todd McFarlane.
Hey everybody, Todd McFarlane here.
Letting you know that Super Chats are live.
So feel free to drop when I was moving Todd McFarlane figures at the time of the accident. I was moving a Batmobile, but we'll cover that later when we get to the figures I was thinking about displaying that I don't think I will display anymore. But pickups then. We can't do this week in toys without pickups in the sexy pink light. And there's been quite a bit, really. There has been quite a bit come in because it's been about a month or so. I've not opened anything because I've been slightly incapacitated. But with Cloud here, I think that is the perfect moment to start with a Mythic Legions pickups because Necronominus has arrived in the UK. So let's start there then, shall we? So who are we going to start with first? So how do these look on the pink light? I think we come through just about all right, actually. So where are we going to start? Sir Alderic then from the Necronominus wave. So I've not gone for the full wave, just selected figures from the wave. So I do like knights with fancy elaborate costumes on. So he was one I would like to pick up. I really do like the soft good, the sort of soft good sort of skirt piece. So he had to come, and the fact you get the skull as well. So he is here. So I could put him in I could use this as a drawer system if I didn't actually fill it with figures over the years. That might be a good idea. And this is probably one of the best figures in the wave. Look at this fella. Sir Gideon Heavensbrand himself. Very, very nice. Talking soft goods. He's really, really covered in soft goods. Look at the soft goods on this. What on the mustache. I love the sort of 70s porno tash, if I'm going to have to call it that. But it's a hell of a mustache. So I do like Sir Gideon Heavensbrand here. So he's one of the two knight characters I picked up. Now, there's a big skeleton horse, but I've actually left that downstairs. And there's Maxilius the Harvester I've also forgotten about and left downstairs. So there's two more that aren't actually with me from the wave. But there is a skeleton inside. It is, of course, Necronominus himself is here as well. So the whole, or not the whole wave, but all the figures I purchased have come in. But I didn't get them from a UK supplier. So actually, we will shout out Hella Dope Toys is actually where I got these from in the States because I didn't do the UK pre-order. It was actually sold out on all the UK stores. I had an initial pre-ordering around 2 years ago, but I ended up cancelling it because I thought they were due quite a while ago and I didn't have the funds at the time. So I cancelled the pre-order. And of course, they got delayed. But by that point, all the pre-orders were sold out. So I thought I was a bit shit out of luck and probably had to wait for AliExpress or Big Bad Toy Store. But using Big Bad Toy Store, you're always going to get hit with import fees of BBTS. But luckily, going through Hella Dope, I thought I probably wouldn't, and I didn't. So no import fees. So pretty much these are for UK retail price or slightly less, actually. So got a bit of a bargain there. And she's here as well. Belulef. She's got a funny name. But she's got a chimera, sort of three-headed dog thing. So I think she might be my favourite in the wave, I think. Her or Sir Gideon's Heavensbrands. I do like the skeleton figures. I have also, another one I've forgotten. Don't know if I showed that on the channel or not. but I don't think I have. But the graveyard skeletons are almost actually here. Got those from eBay in the UK, which wasn't too bad because they were still £100. So £25 a pop for those skeletons. I was not, well, not annoyed with, really. I was very happy with that price. So I think that is it for my Legions section of the pickups there. So, yes, happy with those indeed. Now, Claire's gave me the pronunciations. Belualith, I would go for there. Belualith. Let's try that. She'll correct me if I am wrong there. What's Mike Kevin talking about? I've never had a fragile skeleton. Mine have always been okay. Mike Hex is a bit like a bull in a china shop when it comes to some of his action figures. I've seen that man with QC issues out the wazoo. Going to be a bit more delicate, Mike. Have that delicate touch, and you'll be okay, son. Right. That was Mythic Legions, and obviously there might be a dragon to talk about later that I may have purchased to go with that. But let's do a non-toy pickup. Let's just do a non-toy pickup. We have Marvel versus Capcom, a fighting collection. Why don't I put my middle finger at there? You are. So Marvel versus Capcom fighting collection has arrived. So very nice. Because I finally actually played those games because I have never played the original Marvel versus Capcom games. Didn't really go to arcades. I didn't have it on any of the consoles either. So that is one I would look forward to finally playing, with rumors running amok of Marvel Legends coming for that line there. So that would be pretty cool. What's Mike saying there? No way, just bad luck. No ham hands here. I'll believe you, Mike. I'll believe you. And hello to Connor there. No hot toys. Not angry, just disappointed. Well, there may be hot toys. There may be hot toys. I haven't got through pickups yet. Pickups can often be quite a long segment on this channel because this idiot buys far too many toys, and it has been a while. There are no hot toys up here. I could run downstairs and get a hot toy, but I'll be so out of breath. The hot toys I've got, what have I got recently? I've got Doc Brown and Marty McFly from part 3, but they're downstairs. But I will show something big. I will show something big then to make up for it. Something new, in fact, that I've never seen before is the Mondo soft vinyl Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I keep seeing videos on these online and footage from cons of these things, and the temptation, it just got too strong. I've been feeling in a very, very Turtlesy sort of nostalgia mood, and yeah, I thought I've got to get some of these. I just got to do a shelf for the 4 brothers and a couple of the villains just to have them represented. So luckily, some of the UK suppliers have got them in, so we haven't got to pay import fees or anything from Mondo for the ones that aren't exclusive. And these things they're a decent chunky size. It's about sort of 8-9 inches, and it's a lovely package it comes in. They do give you a separate card back as well. They do give you a separate card back, so you do a nice bit of displaying with those. So I was going to open them, but they look pretty cool mint on cards. So I haven't actually opened him yet. He's been hanging on the wall above me, so that's definitely a line I'm interested in collecting. These sort of like ultimate versions of the original Playmates figures. So that would be look forward to all of those there. So he can go back up there. Yeah. The restaurant pre-order, Gabriel there. Hello to Gabriel. Leo is the only one that's come in. The rest I've got on order with Comic and Cocktails in the UK. So whenever they arrive, hopefully they won't all arrive at once. Hello to Chris there. Have you got any Resident Evil toys? I used to, but not anymore. I had the NECA ones, but I sold them many a year ago now. That is one line I would like to see in a modern line. Somebody like Jada Toys, I think, would do a fantastic job. They've got a bit of a working relationship with Capcom, so if they could swindle the license of Resident Evil, I would be a very happy toy collector indeed. So should we keep it Turtles? We won't keep it Turtles yet. We'll go a bit more Turtles in a minute. I'll show something Maximum. Because look who arrived. It is Maximum Spidey. So he has actually been here for a couple of weeks. But because I say I wasn't feeling too good, didn't get right. I didn't even open the box and the shipper box until literally just before the stream. But he has been here for a good couple of weeks now. So didn't quite get round to doing the review. But I did have it for quite a while. And My initial impression is it's a Marvel Legend. Now, I don't know what I was expecting, but it looks like a Marvel Legend. But I suppose it's a £50 Marvel Legend, so there's that when it comes to it. So I like the design. It is the McFarlane style Spider-Man, my favorite design of Spider-Man. So that is why I picked up this figure, just to have that representation of that version. But it pretty much just looks like any other Marvel Legend with some extra painted web lines. So I'm not overly impressed, I would say, with my first impression. And we'll get to Hulk and stuff as we go through later. I know Mike saying that he's got some QC, and we had some QC on the foot. My foot looks okay. I've got a bit of QC on the sort of pinky finger there on the whipping hand. It's actually bent in the package, and that's missing a bit of paint deco where I think it got bent. But I think that seems to be my only particular QC issue I can see with this one. I've seen, of course, Dan's review there, and the articulation looks pretty cool. So I might even try a fancy pose on the shelf with this one, but overall, I would say no, it just looks like another Marvel Legend. So I don't think I'm going to be fully in on the Maximum series, but got one to try out. Okay, right. So we'll stick with Marvel Legends because I can see another one. So we have the Dark Avengers Warbird, as they're calling it. So it's a Dark Ms. Marvel. I think I got her in from Star Action Figures here. So she has arrived. She's there. Let's go a random one. Yojo. A bit of Yojo here. A bit of Yojo. We have massive Super 7 sale on at Comic and Cocktails. I think these were less than half price. It's only like £20, I think. So I picked up a couple of the Cobra Ultimate, sort of the Cobra Troopers there, just to do a bit of army building in the G.I. Joe. And I do like the G.I. Joe. Well, I liked the first wave. I didn't like the second wave because I took the paint off. I've liked the additional waves. They've just been a bit too expensive. But the fact that they're down in the sale now isn't too bad. So I managed to pick that up. So he is here as well. You see, lots of displays are going to have to get around to actually deal with all this. Let's go rapid fire wrestling, shall we? Rapid fire wrestling we're literally a week away or so from WrestleMania. So there is Hollywood Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Edition. That is the Monday Night Wars exclusive. But luckily, Mattel Creations now stocking the Ultimate Edition versions on their website for Monday Night Wars. So he's in here. We have the Great Muta is here. Of course, that is, if you recognize it, wrestling fans out there, that is the Chase edition of the Great Muta. So shout out Hill Phones. He got the Chase in the post. I did not. I got the regular. So I had to do a bit of toy hunting at the store, but I did find the Chase edition. So the Great Muta Chase has joined the collection. We can mix it up with a bit of AEW figures. Technically, Ring of Honor figures there. So it is Matt and Jeff Hardy from their time in Ring of Honor. That is a Jazzwares Vault. What is it? One of 3,000 exclusives. That was my first purchase from the Jazzwares Vault, and it came quick enough and seems to be in good condition. So happy enough with that from Jazzwares Vault. Also, no import fees. So cannot argue with no import fees if we go through all that. And a couple more. I'll do you a 2-in-1 special. It's finally here. The Gorilla Monsoon Build-A-Figure Wave from the Monday Night Wars line. It's hit Smiths in the UK. Now, Gorilla Monsoon, one of my most anticipated wrestling figures of all time. If you know me, you know my wrestling obsession. My favorite line out of all of my lines is my WWE Mattel line. And Gorilla Monsoon is my favorite wrestling commentator of all time. No doubt in my mind. So finally having him in his sort of pinky suit, very, very happy indeed. So, and of course, the channel colours, if you do not recognise why the channel colours are pink and black, that is the reason the channel colours are pink and black. Because growing up, Bret Hart was my favourite wrestler, and he wore pink and black. That is his WCW outfit in the corrected version of the pink and black. So, yeah, that is going to be a front and centre figure in my display. As you see, the lights and the logo above my head. The reason it's pink and black is literally that figure there. Bret the Hitman Hart in all of his glory. Right. the final part of pickups before we get into the abundancy of toy news is all Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle related. So I was in a loft the other day before the fall, and I found an old little box up there, an old little treasure chest thing, only a small thing, and in it was some old badges from when I was a little boy. There was a Doc Ock one from the sort of early sort of Toy Biz sort of days in there. There was a Toxic Crusaders one that surprised me. So I must have had some interest in Toxic Crusaders. It didn't quite stick in my head. But there was loads of turtle badges in there. I had all the brothers in little badges in there. And there was also a little camera, like a camera you'd put film in, take your little photos before the days of digital cameras, an old-fashioned film camera. And it was a lime green Turtles camera. And that brought back flooding loads of memories of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when I was little. And it got me on a bit of a Turtles kick. So I've already got a lot of Turtles in here. But the toy room next door is starting to become more themed, I think. So we've got the Marvel Legends to the one side in the wardrobe. We've got the Marvel Legends wardrobe, which again got a whole wall of wrestling. So then my two biggest lines would be Marvel Legends and wrestling. So they got like a whole side dedicated to them. And Turtles comes next within that. But it doesn't quite have a whole wall. Well, it doesn't until now, because there's now going to be a whole wall of Turtles. So I've already got the NECA movie Turtles. I've got the cartoon collection, the Mirage collection, the gaming collection, and the Super 7 collection. Today we've added the Mondo soft vinyl and a few more. So again, this another reason this was triggered was the previous live stream on the channel. Go and check it out if you haven't. We were covering the stuff from New York. And of course, there was all those announcements of the 2003 figures from Super 7, showing those off. And the 2012 figures from NECA. And I saw those and thought, I'm all in on these. I'm definitely going to be all in on both those lines. Went back on YouTube and did the thing I'm not supposed to do. Now, again, if you know me, the thing for cartoons. Love a classic cartoon. And yeah, I watched a couple of episodes of 2003. Loved it. And I thought, the thing I thought I'd never watch was 2012. Never a bigger fan of the sort of CGI animated stuff. Because I don't like the animation style particularly. But I started watching it and thought, this is a really good show. So I'm going to be in on both of those lines. So I was like, right, okay, you're now nearly in on all the Turtles lines. So what are you not in on? And the answer to that was the Last Ronin. Because I had the Last Ronin himself, but that's pretty much all I got from the line. And during my time off for, again, Falling Through the Ceiling, check out the video if you haven't seen it. I read The Last Ronin. I actually read one of my books. It's taken me, nearly 2 years to finally finish the thing. So I started again and read the whole thing through. Even bought the second one. And it was fantastic. So what have I done? I've gone and seen our good friend Uncle Ali and started the backtrack of the Last Ronin figures. So I've got my first order in of Last Ronin stuff there. So there is Karai in from the Last Ronin. I haven't brought them all up. I managed to get the accessory set. Chucking them on myself now. The Naked Turtle, he's coming up, I think, in a minute. We've got the Sinja Patrol bots there. So I've got the 2-pack version as well as the singles to have both versions of those. There's one big Naked Turtle. So who doesn't know? That thing is a fantastic design of a figure. And of course, using Uncle Ali didn't work out. Too expensive indeed. Excuse me while I bend over and pick up Karai there before I stand on her. She can go back there. And my other example I brought to show for the pickup segment here is the Sinja Patrol bot itself. So haven't got all the sort of flashback version of Turtles yet. They're on my AliExpress list. But things are changing on AliExpress, I think, to our good friend the Tariffs, which we'll get to in a minute. So haven't completed it yet, but the backtracking has begun. And then that wasn't enough. Why would that be enough? I'm an idiot. So then, Gaming Turtles. I had them, but they were in a sale pile. So I pulled them out of the sale pile. I thought, no. You might as well keep them because you've got all these other displays. They'll make another great cube to go with all the other turtle products that I've potentially got there. So I started army building. So I went on Star Action Figures, and they still had in stock the Turtles in Time gaming foot soldiers. So I only had one. Now I've got 4. I bought up their entire stock of gaming foot soldiers. I had all the rest of the figures in the collection. So I thought, well, let's army build these. So that happened. Apart from one, because I did have this figure, but this was a figure that I sold. So in the chat, are there any figures you've sold that you regretted selling and ended up buying back? So any figures that you've sold that you've ended up buying back, let me know in the chat. Or if you're on the replay crew, let me know in the comments section, because I'd be interested to know what you've actually had to literally backtrack and rebuy. Because this is a figure for me where that has happened. So it is the electrocuted turtle from the Turtles in Time video game. It used to be a Loot Crate exclusive, but because I was going to sell these figures, I never bothered with this and just sold it pretty much as soon as I got it quite a while ago. And that was a silly decision because now I'm going to do a display. I was like, I need that electrocuted turtle because I do have the game, like the flashback game on the PS4, the collection of the old Turtles games. So you see this quite a lot, don't you, when you get attacked? Because I'm crap at that game. The turtles getting electrocuted all the time. So I had to rebuy it. £60 it cost. I don't think it was too bad. Pretty much probably what I sold it for in the first place. So I don't think I made a loss overall, but I had to buy back the electrocuted glow-in-the-dark turtle. So that will be going in the collection. What's Mike X in there? I'll rebuy the Ultimate Venom Select. So that's when you've sold it, be right. So Mike is going to be backtracking on the Venom Select. Hello to Kevin Beatty there. Just got in from work. Yes, I am back on the live stream. And yes, I am okay. Yes, thank you. I said I had loads of messages of concern from everybody. That has been very nice indeed. But yeah, cuts and bruises I've managed to escape for. This could go wrong. I'm now going to try and pour water live on the live stream because I've already drunk my entire drink. That's the thing doing these things solo. I ran out of water. So let's try a live pour. A live pour on the channel. I haven't poured it on the laptop, so that's a bonus. Can I screw the lid on? And we will see. So there's one more final pickup. It's a big one, and then we will get into all the toy news. And we've got Toy Trades going on. Hello, Mr. Who. How are you doing there, sir? And he has the Venom Select, so maybe you have a bit of a trade going on there. Now, gaming turtles we were just discussing. I'm going to have one thing to go with them. So I like to mix old play sets in with modern action figures to work as backdrops in the display. I do it in Star Wars, which will be all up on the top, which I will show you when it's all properly lit. Again, I hope the light is coming through. Nice bit of pink, and you can still see me with the ring light. But I'm going to do it for Turtles now. I'm going to do it for Turtles because there was a sale on Amazon.com, and it was only 50 quid or 50 quid all into the UK, including shipping. What is it, you ask? A thing I never had as a kid. Oh, yes. Look at the size of this thing. The NECA Technodrome. So now say NECA, the Playmates Technodrome. So the re-release, the slightly smaller version of the Technodrome. I've got a Technodrome, people. I'm pretty excited that I finally own a Technodrome. Now, I still hope Super 7 will NECA make a massive one. Because with all this expansion, I've got room to put one. So I still hope we get a big one. But for now, these will be going behind the gaming turtles. So I'm going to use this like a level within the old sort of Turtles in Time scrolling game and have this behind them. And I'm hoping that the sewer play set they announced at New York, I believe they said it will clip into this. I hope that will fit in a diorama as well. So I can have both those pieces as a backdrop to the display. So, yeah, unless I've gone a bit Turtles crazy, Backtracking the Last Ronin. We've got soft vinyls, backtracking bloody Turtles in Time figures. And I've got a big play set here as well. And I just told you I'm going all in on 2003. Both waves are pre-ordered, and 2012. So, yeah, Turtles. Big things are happening on the channel with Turtles. So I hope you like Turtles, people. There's Dan there with his I can blame him as well, because I've watched him and Tanner finally return with Turtles and Tea. Their couple of hour live stream a few weeks ago. And while I was off, I watched that quite a bit. Probably watched it 3 times, looking at all those Turtle figures. So that kept me entertained. And yeah, led to a lot of Turtle purchases. But I think that's it for pickups. Really 40 minutes into the show. What did you expect? I've been off for a while. So I hope you're enjoying it in the chat. Do let me know. I've just played a couple of little videos while I get some breath back, and then we will go straight into toy news. If you haven't already, please do consider joining the channel membership. Get all those emojis if you can. And don't forget, we have managed to keep the streak alive tonight, thanks to Madison's generous super chat at the start. But super chats are still open. Get my attention. And Todd McFarlane's too.
Hey everybody, Todd McFarlane here.
Letting you know that super chats are live.
Right then, with the housekeeping done there. So I'm now going to jump over to the toy news. So wish me luck, people, as we go through the toy news. So let me go over here. I'm on the side. Pink and black everywhere. Channel colours. See, branding, people. On point. So there we are. Don't forget to watch me falling through the ceiling. Yes, over 400 of you have watched it so far. So thank you very much. But please do, if you haven't watched it, go through that. So we got toys, we got tariffs, we got it all going on. But we will start with a thank you then. We will start here, and I will close each tab as I go through so I do not get confused. But since I have been off just a few days ago, the Bethia Dragon campaign came to a close, and the dramatic last few days, because this thing shot up, didn't it? So we've jumped up to the final figures on the Dragon then. Just under 5,000 sold. So that's more than I was expecting. I thought we might get to the 4,000, but I thought that would probably be it. And we've jumped way, way above that. Up to 5,000, 4,962. And I don't know if I said on the channel yet or not. Was I one of them? Yes, I was. I did back the Dragon. I may have already said that on the channel, but I can't remember if I did or didn't. So there you are. It's officially on record now. I was a Dragon backer. They did, some of the shipping came down on the Dragon because the international shipping was quite high, but the rates got a bit better, so I jumped on that. I didn't go for the add-ons. I just went for the base Dragon, but I can say Bethia is coming to the UK probably around Christmas time next year. We're probably expecting the Dragon to come, if not into 2027, I would imagine. So I'm pretty happy with that. Fiery Wing, Fiery Breath set, 4,000 of those sold. So they sold 4,000 of those. So maybe that Burning Night, I would still like that Burning Night. I didn't back it, but I wouldn't mind the Burning Night. So maybe the aftermarket might not be too bad on that one. But the Epic Wing set sold 2,900. So basically 5,000, 4,000, 3,000 in terms of that. So I think that was an incredibly good campaign from Four Horsemen. They did show this at the very end there. A couple of days to go, they showed Beathia's Fury, which was the bonus figure. So we are getting an extra figure than was originally advertised. To be honest with you, I'm not a massive fan of this one. I like the Ashen Skeleton, so the burnt skeleton, and I like the initial figure of Sir Benegar there with all the cloth goods. But that's the one thing I really like about my Mythic Legions Knights is the cloth goods. And because this one doesn't have the cloth goods, it's not quite up there for me compared to the other one. But I do like, the thing I do like about it is a sort of like the Destro style heads there with the sort of melted metal face plates that they've got going on. So that did bring me back a bit. I know they showed some initial images off the live stream there, but the lighting wasn't too good. It looked a bit mustard color, but they got that sorted straight away just to show you know it actually is a proper gold color. I like the shield, I like the head, but I'm not overly fussed by the body. So could this be one I could sell and get a bit of Dragon money back? Maybe. might consider selling this one. Let's see. So let's hope people do like him, and I can maybe get a bit of a discount on the Dragon. I think it worked out about 550 or so for the Dragon, bringing it to the UK there. But that is effectively what you've got with the entire campaign there. So you're going to get 3 figures and a Dragon for 550 plus shipping. So that is not too bad indeed. Because if you don't like Sir Benegar with those cloth goods, you've probably got a couple of £100 figure there. What's Kevin saying there? When are the tickets going on sale to view the Dragon? Well, viewing parties will commence at, say, January 2027 for the Dragon viewing parties. What can I charge for a Dragon viewing? £10 entry. Should we say £10 entry for a Dragon viewing? So I can just get 55 people through the door. Then I got myself a free Dragon. I don't know if that's a legal thing I can do or not. Dragon entry party. Cloud, Super had to pass. So Cloud also passed on the Fiery Breath set as well. Yeah, it still made it a little bit too expensive for me, adding it on with the additional shipping it was causing over here. But I'm hoping potentially might be able to have some way of getting the Fiery Dragon there. And yes, that's a good point there, Cloud, because people had said about army building, haven't they? The Fury figure. I know people were interested in that. I think Jeremy has said something along the lines of there'll be some form of army building aspect or some other character that will be similar, I'm assuming, for army building needs out there. But yes, actually, that probably will be a good seller there. Kurt K, how are you doing, sir? Kurt has joined us this evening. Kevin's in for a tenner. He's in for all entries can be paid in super chats. That's the Dragon viewing party in a. No, actually, through PayPal, because YouTube won't take a percentage then for future Dragon viewing parties. But if you want the full breakdown of the Dragon, go and check out the stream earlier on the channel. Myself, Michael, and Cloud going through all the Dragon information. So now it's just a waiting game when it comes to the Dragon. But I will go actually to a post if it's on here. Is it on here for the Dragon? Yes, there is a statement released by Paul Horseman, which will go into our second and probably our main topic this evening, those damn tariffs. So they basically put out a statement there saying they have no intention of charging any extra for the Dragon, because these tariffs are fluctuating every day, etc., etc. So yes, I know people were concerned that they might try and whack up the price on delivery of the Dragon, but that does not seem to be their intention at all from Four Horsemen. So that is a pretty cool thing to see. But then, right, the time has come to talk about the Donald, I suppose. Let's talk about toy tariffs. I am well aware that these tariffs are affecting much more industries than just the action figure industries, and quite frankly, much more important industries than the action figure industries. But I cover action figures on this channel. I am an action figure collector, so I will talk about them in action figure form. But don't be afraid to talk politics out there, people. Don't mind a bit of politics now and then when you've got to. But here we are then, the toys and the tariffs. It almost flows off the tongue, doesn't it? So we're on Big Bad Toy Store here, and you can see excludes tariff surcharge there. And there's a little speech down the bottom because they did send an email out. So, for those that don't know, Donald Trump's decided to, make a political bit of political power. I think he's trying to invoke here, just to prove a point. Because I'm gonna say this quite frankly. So this is my opinion, and I'm going to give it to you straight, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump is a bellend. Yes, that is my British terminology to use on him. Because what is he doing? He is effectively buggering up the world's economy just to try and prove his little bitty point, it seems, to China. Seems to be half of what he's doing. So he's showing what he can do. He plopped out the other day, as you've seen the thumbnail, with his big board out of all his tariffs, his reciprocal tariffs. Man clearly doesn't know the word reciprocal means, because some of those figures on there were literally a load of shite. So, yes, let's drink to that. Says Nikita there down in the chat. So, I don't think they will last for long, because already, he said, he's already put a 90-day suspension on most tariffs. This is literally a daily changing situation. Watch any of your YouTube news channels out there. because they're all covering it from the BBC to Sky News, all across to all the American ones as well. He thinks he's going to fix the economy by doing this, but he's effectively cocking it up right royally, which is of no surprise to me at all. So he's already had a bit of a stock market crash this week. Oh, and look at that. A few days after the stock market crash, what does he do? Rescind the tariffs for 90 days, and the stock goes back up. So what do you all think he probably did during the period there? Or his friends did at least. They bought some of that cheap stock, didn't they? And then, oh, look at that. It's worth way more in a few days. So yes, definitely market manipulation at its finest. But I'm getting in far too much of a rant there when it comes to the rest of it. But and every day he wakes up, and this has been annoying me. So quite frankly, I'm just going to moan for a minute. So I'm not even in the US, but it's still annoying me. So every day he wakes up and decides to, in this sort of dick measuring contest he's in with China, is to he changes the tariff by the minute. So I believe it was what was it? It was 34%, and it was 54%, and it was 104%. And I think yesterday it was 125%. He's woke up this morning. He's clearly in a bad mood because I believe I've just seen a news article saying it's 145% tariff on China. He's let the rest of the world off for a minute, still impose a 10% levy, which is not quite reciprocal. But yeah, so he's now at 145%. So he's just literally pulling these figures straight out of his arse, is what he's doing. And they probably won't last long, as I say. So I think that's why companies like Four Horsemen there were just saying, like, we don't, these tariffs are things that are changing daily. It cannot last because he's going to ruin his own economy, get alone the world's bloody economy. So yes, Donald Trump, absolute bellend. So at the moment, people are reacting in the toy world, of course, to these tariffs because they are being told, and as of now, that they're going to have a 145% tariff or a tax, effectively, slapped on their imports if they're bringing imports into the US. So for the UK consumers out there, okay, this is a UK channel, in theory, that these are only going to be charged, these tariffs, to bring goods into the US, not from goods coming elsewhere to the UK, because a lot of our stuff ships directly from China. But of course, some of these companies will just have to put their prices up over the whole world just to cover the potential offset there. Yes, and Mike's saying there, RIP small businesses, and that we will get to that in a second. Yes, we won't use his name. And an orange clown. I think we're all on the same page here, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat. So we'll get to Big Bad Toy Store in a second, but we'll actually go to a first one here. We share Longbox Heroes here on Kickstarter, because they've effectively, because these businesses are being told right now that these tariffs are happening, they're having to react. Hopefully, I'd say this will all bypass within a matter of weeks, if not months, and we will come back to some relevancy of normalness. But at the moment, they're having to react because that is what they're getting told they need to do. So they've had to cancel their Kickstarter because effectively these 5 POA figures, I think they said, would have worked out at over $40 rather than $20, which they didn't feel was a fair price point to charge their customer. Probably nobody had bought them at that price. So yeah, they potentially could be putting a lot of smaller businesses in the toy industry out of business just because of one man's ego. So Jeremy Padawa there, of course, you don't know Jeremy Padawa. He is at, we used to be at Jack's Pacific, effectively, which is now Jazzwares, I do believe. So he used to run the original wrestling line that I used to purchase. So he's got this US Toy Association. It's leading the potential campaign here to try and get a 0% tariffs on toys and all different people that are signing up for that. I doubt he would get a 0% one, but at least he's trying some action there. So you can go and check out that information if you like there from there. So we've lost Longbox Heroes. We've had quite a few from the wrestling world. So if I go here to Rock and Roll Collectibles, shout out our friends at Rock and Roll, one of our UK wrestling distributors there. Zombie Sailors Pinnacle line, a line we've been waiting for a couple of years now. They had to pull their pre-order. So their pre-order was effectively pulled down early in reaction to the tariffs, which now shows sold out here on Rock and Roll. And as I say, we've been waiting a long time for these figures. These were £50 figures. So I'll say with all the potential tariffs on them, they had to pull them down. So again, it's affecting small businesses, to Mike's point in the chat a minute ago. So I have, just to go back to a toy point, there's a Jeff Jarrett figure. Yes, again, if you know me, I've wanted a Jeff Jarrett figure for nigh on years. Mattel cancelled theirs when they lost the license to Jarrett when he went to AEW. So this is like a 90s version of Jeff Jarrett. And I've been waiting a long time for him. So I hope they won't cancel the line. It does seem like they will go into production on these. And they will honour their pricing. And hopefully by the time they ship, all this crap will be sorted out and we won't have these crazy, crazy tariffs on toys. So there's some examples there from the toy world of smaller businesses and things being affected via the tariff situation. And if we head back to Big Bad Toy Store, they're already listing. They're going to have to add on a tariff surcharge because I do believe Big Bad bring in their own stock from China. So they're going to get hit with a tariff when they bring it in. So they're going to have to pass some of that on to the customer. And I think they just to stay in business effectively, they've got no other choice. I'm hoping a lot of stuff just doesn't ship during this period until we can actually get this sorted. And then we won't be affected by these, but they're going to have to effectively increase their price to cover it, which again is going to drive business down. And it's just, I don't know. So I think his grand plan, or the way he sold it to the American public, from my understanding, was he wants all these businesses and things to move their production and stuff to increase the US manufacturing. But how you affect something like the toy industry, I don't see how you're going to get a factory up and running in the US in any quicker than sort of a 10-year turnaround to get all the machinery and all the staff trained up and the infrastructure to do that. I don't think you can do that for the toy industry. I don't think that's realistic at all. And if you did, the American wages would be so much higher. Well, it'd be like paying a tariff anyway compared to the cheap manufacturing you can get in places like China. So for some industries, that's just not going to work. So it is not a viable economic plan, in my opinion, that I could actually ever see working. So God knows what he thinks he's doing. But clearly, I think he's just making some stupid little power play. But hopefully, this will resolve itself in due course. We shouldn't have to. I'm hoping we don't have to overly worry about this and it will actually sort itself out because this cannot go on. Because effectively, at 145% tariff, what you're saying is we're not going to do business with China. And China reacted today going, oh, there's 125% on US goods. There's been rumors about cancelling all American films and things in China. So hopefully they'll sit down like adults at some point and have a bit of an actual rational discussion and sort this out. But for now, this is what the tariffs are being listed at. But it's literally an unwinnable situation here. Some of the bigger companies like Hasbro and Mattel could probably take some of the hits on this. But I know places like Nergzoic and said that their margins on toys are very, very slim. They are very, very slim margins. So they haven't got any flexibility when it comes to it anyway. So effectively it's going to end the toy game. So I'm trying not to take this too seriously in a way because I'm thinking it cannot last. Otherwise, toy collecting effectively is just over, isn't it? Because if you had to pay 145% more, well, then that's just impossible, isn't it? So I assume the tariff is on at the wholesale price. They wouldn't pay it on the retail price when it comes in. But let's just work it out on the retail price for now. So let's say that figure is $49, and we will add on a 145% tariff. So that makes that figure you see on the screen there not 49. It makes it 120 is what you see there. So clearly not going to work. As I say, it would be on probably the wholesale price, which would be less than that. But just for an example there, if something was wholesaling at 50, it's now 120. So the game's over, isn't it? Effectively, it's just literally not going to happen. So BBTS, I think they've said that they'll be up to 40%. They'd have to increase prices by at the moment to the consumer. Again, because I say they're probably paying it on the wholesale rather than the retail. Then you've added 40% on that price. We'll stick 40% on that plus 40%. You're talking that figure there becomes $69. So the whole market is just literally over. He's just literally blocking trade. So it's just not going to. It's not going to happen. Adam Batman Moran is in my DMs talking about Mammy, talking about Rhea Ripley. So I don't know what he's doing tonight, but he's having more fun than he's talking about tariffs. But yes, something we've got to, I think, need to talk about and cover. But that is my sort of opinion. Let me know yours in the chat, and I'm sure you all are down there. Let's come and have a look. Yeah, rational. Yes, he's not the most rational of gentlemen I've ever seen. Is he bonkers? Yes, of course. Let's hope for a Jeff Jarrett. We do indeed. And trumpets. Oh, he's got a fan club, is he? So yeah. So tariffs, people. in an ever-changing world, they cannot last for long. So there you are. Mark my words, it won't last for long. I hope. Am I right? Let's hope I am right, because we might as well just quit toy collecting now if it isn't. And all these, in all seriousness, the small companies would literally be out of business. We've already seen the start of things like that hitting, but then again, these prices would just be passed on to the retailer because they can't. To the consumer, because the retailer can't hit them all. They'd be making no money at all. So, yeah, tariffs, a load of crap, effectively, and hopefully it will sort itself out. But that was my economics lesson. And Mike X, I think that sums it up well there. Star Wars Episode 1 kicks off with a galactic war. It's all a trade war. There's a trade blockade in Star Wars, and that is exactly what's going on. Donald Trump is Darth Sidious. What else can I say on that matter? So for topic number 2 then, so that is tariffs. Again, if you're watching on the replay, let me know your thoughts on tariffs in the comments below. Does anybody support these tariffs? Is there anybody out there? Let me know. But something else that cheered me up today, this cheered me up a right treat. It's glad to be back, isn't it, people? I'm glad to be back and venting and talking to you all. There was a Haulathon. Haulathon is back. The bane of international collectors' lives. You talk about international trade, then Haulathon, well, they've got you covered for the day. Because Haulathon has started. So every Friday then, for the next, I'm assuming it's 4 weeks or so, they're going to be doing different NECA drops at the Target Haulathon event. And they've started off today with a couple. Now, it started at 2 p.m. UK time, and it will be that time every week going forward. So 9 a.m. Eastern, I do believe, is when we will get this Haulathon stuff. But what I don't like about it, well, there's two things I don't like about it. International shipping and the fact they drop stuff on a weekly basis, because that stops you bundling the items together, which means you can't save on shipping. So yeah, this is turning into a bit of a pain. So the price then on the 4-packs of the sort of Mirage Gangsters issue 14, I think, of Mirage, sort of Lawson Turtles in their Untouchable style. A pack I think I would like to pick this one up. You can see all the images as we go through here. What's that big image, isn't it? On the Haulathon website. Again, target.com for US customers, and for us here internationally, it is haulathon.com. The price is okay, I think, for the 2-pack, because they 4-pack, because they have corrected it in terms of the international currency conversion. So it's £117, because I think it's $150. So that works out fine. So they've done us quite well there. The only problem is like the $37 shipping they've added on top, or £28, I think it is, 28 or £29, works out about $37, what they added on top of this. So that makes it about, then talking about 160 nearly for that, which isn't too bad, because I've seen the whole shebang put it up in the UK for 185, so it's definitely cheaper than that. But the shipping again on this pack is also £29 or $37. So this is a £51 pack, or again, $65. So this makes it over $100 to get this shipped internationally, which I can't quite, I'm going to shout out Justin, I can't quite justify that that price there of shipping these two relatively obscure characters. I'm going to be quite frank, I do not remember these from the cartoon at all, but I do think they look cool. So I wouldn't mind adding them to the collection, but I don't really want to pay effectively £80 for the privilege. So I'm going to hope that Uncle Ali does us a favour and AliExpress get these in, because they'll do it for free shipping, and that would make quite the difference internationally. Now, if they'd put all these up on the same day, all the drops, and you could have bundled all the shipping together, that would have helped. But they haven't, so you can't, which is annoying. So if this doesn't sell out, which I hope it doesn't, and if they drop Shredder or somebody next week and I can bundle it together, then I could make a bit of a saving on the shipping. So that, again, let me know your Haulathon chat. Anybody pick up anything in the replay crew, in the comments, let me know, or in the live chat. Anybody got anything from Haulathon so far? So I'll show you what else is going to be available. The one thing I'm desperate to get is this shredder. I really want this upgraded shredder. Such an improvement on the other shredders that we actually have within the line. So I do want to get him. So I know I could send my good friend Mike Hex out on the hunt, but if Haulathon can ship it for a reasonable price bundled together, it might be cheaper to go through Haulathon. But there is effectively your lineup. So what we got coming? We got Panda Khan coming from the cartoon line. So I'm going to want that. I'm going to want the Shredder. I'm going to want the Dark Leo because they are exclusives to the Target or the Haulathon event, I do believe. Whereas the other stuff, the Mirage stuff, will not be exclusive. So it will come to probably UK retailers or AliExpress in due course. I could probably wait that out, but the comic book stuff, yeah. Oh, I've missed one as well. Like Tattoo and Worm, the sumo wrestler and the Worm character. Those are another comic 2-pack I want. So what's that one? There's 2 2-packs. And then there's 3 singles. This is going to get pricey quick, isn't it? Now I've gone all in on Turtles. So, yeah, I don't know. Panda Khan is who I want now. I got Shredder. So Mike's already got the Shredder in there. There's after Panda Khan. We've got some fingers crossed there. Talking about there. Same here, probably. Yeah, a lot of it does show up in the UK in around 6 to 9 months. Not always the comic book stuff, though. The Mirage stuff for UK, I think, will be fine on. And definitely AliExpress will get that in. So I wouldn't panic about the stuff that is Mirage, but the comic stuff can prove itself tricky. But that's definitely a really good upgraded shredder. So I definitely want to at least secure that. And I'm looking at that April. That's a really cool Mirage April there as well. So there's some nice stuff, as there always is with Haulathon. It's just the international distribution and NECA's distribution is so bad anyway, isn't it? I'm having the right moan today, aren't I? See, I'm back on YouTube having a good old moan. There was so Damien saying about the whole shebang. They've got today's releases up, but they're way more expensive than Haulathon. So you'd be cheaper going through Haulathon, even with their shipping, than getting them through the whole shebang if you wanted both releases there, because you could bundle them together, today's releases. So that is day 1 of Haulathon. So we'll see what happens next week. Nothing sold out then. Actually, look, if we go back to Haulathon's website, I can still add both things to carts. We've had no international sellouts on the turtle stuff. Is Beetlejuice gone? No, you can still get yourself a wedding Beetlejuice from the. I was going to say, is it from the first film? But then that's the second film, I'm assuming. He's got the little baby. I haven't watched the second film yet. So, yeah. Who doesn't like a good moan? Yeah. Who's like a and Cloud's super bitchy today? Yes, we're having a good old complain. Cheers to the complaining crew here. As we have a good old YouTube rant. But yeah, I'm trying to be constructive and realistic at the same time as we go through it. So that is Haulathon. And then this will cheer you all up. It's time to talk about the Marvel Legends, because I haven't talked about those on the channel. So there is a poll in the chat somewhere. Did I do a poll? I did do a poll in the chat. I thought I did. So there we are. Poll in the chat. What are your most anticipated of the leaky leaks? So we've had some leaky leaks, which we'll get to in a minute. David Display's model behavior has been on the leaking train. So we'll get to those, but we'll go through some of the other stuff I haven't gone through first. But what is winning the poll at the moment? It seems like the Secret Wars wave is winning the poll. So Secret Wars, Spidey, Deadpool, or the 2-pack. What is your most anticipated of the leaky leaks we've had today? There was a Victor Meldrew, 1 foot in the grave, a grumpy old man, but very funny at the same time. So I have not talked about Maximum Hulk on the channel because I've not been around. And if you haven't heard, I fell through a ceiling. That needs to be some form of T-shirt or something I can actually get to anticipate this. So Maximum Hulk with the pins. So we will get to Maximum Hulk then. So what is it? Price-wise, let's start off with a positive. I think the price is okay. I think the £60 is okay. Forget the word maximum. If their current price for a super deluxe figure is £60, this is in line with that. Odin was £60. The Big Venom was £60. That seems to be their current price point. So they've not priced it higher than their other stuff. So I can deal with the £60. not overly fussed at the price on this one. It's just a figure I don't really like too much. So my initial thought was I didn't notice the pin straight away, so I'll tell you that much. My initial thought was, oh, it looks like the Hulk I've already got. And then I saw the head sculpts, and my thoughts went even worse, to be honest with you. So it looks like the Hulk we already got. I soon realised going through was because it pretty much is the Hulk I've already got with a toe hinge and the different chest feature. So that's why it looked like it, because that's what it is. The first thing I noticed was, oh, where's the shirt? I wanted a shirt. Because a maximum Hulk to me has to come with some form of ripped shirt. That's just Hulk to me. If it doesn't have that, so that was a mark off straight away. Then I could see it could do the thunderclap, so I thought that was impressive, and they haven't got any ugly butterflies at the front, so I enjoyed that aspect of it. I then looked at that rocket and went, oh, it's grey. Where's the paint on the rocket? I thought that was a prototype when they were showing us the teasers. I thought that was a prototype rather than an actual production piece. But a little bit of paint when you take it apart. But I wanted the rocket to be white or something and have some actual paint on it. So the rocket didn't do much for me. And I didn't like the head sculpt either. There was no classic head sculpt. So I know they've based it on different arts. That's like your Ed McGuinness head, but I don't like his drawing. The one I don't mind this one. This one is one I've come around to the most, I think, is the whited out eyes with the funny little haircut. I've come around to that one the most. And I don't like the big teeth. The teeth are just weird. So that doesn't do a lot for me on the teeth. So I'm not a fan of the head sculpt. And then again, you see the waist cut there. It's not got a ball joint or anything like, yeah. So it's, yeah, the price. I'm not, don't mind the price. Don't like the heads. Can get around one of them. And yeah, it's just a bit wishy-washy on this Hulk. So I've not pre-ordered it, which is unusual for me when it's a thing I thought might sell out. I didn't do the pre-order, and clearly it's not sold out. So I'm on Pulse UK here, live feed, and it's still in stock. So our boy Maximum Spidey, wherever he is, yes, he was overpriced at 50, but it's Todd McFarlane's art that got me into that one. So we're not off the greatest start. I'm probably the slowest YouTuber to get to that point, but I don't think we're off to the greatest start with the Maximum series. So yeah, Hulk. Now, I don't mind the head. I want to play about with the figure really. So I wouldn't mind getting it in sale. So if it's in a sale, I might pick it up just to have a sort of little play about with it. I have had figures, so I do own Storm Collectibles figures. So they will be in here actually eventually. I think one of these cubes will be the Storm Collectibles Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat figures will be going in here. So I've got plenty of figures with the sort of PVC chest there. And I've never had an issue with any disintegration on them at all. Now, I have had disintegration issues on more of the rubbery stuff like the Mezco Alien with the seamless body. I can see loads of Hot Toys over the years people have had with the disintegration on the seamless bodies. And Mattel figures, the wrestling figures, loads of the skirt pieces on the female figures tend to disintegrate. John Cena's armbands are rubbery and they disintegrate. But this is a different material to that. This seems to me, from what I can see in Dwight's video there, this material is the stuff that Storm Collectibles use within their figure, this sort of PVC-like material, if we go over to the live stream there. So that should be fine. That should be fine. So you shouldn't have disintegration issues with that, at least for many, many years. So I wouldn't overly worry about that. But it's kind of fun to have that on a Marvel Legends. So that's the best feature of this Hulk. But not one for me. And yes, I can get it potentially reduced in sale. Like I said, there's in the chat saying, not the biggest fan of the heads either. I think Kurt's been sick. Well, we've made Kurt ill when they're talking about this. Kurt's puking on me. Toy Biz rubber melted, but yes, I had a Morbius from the Toy Biz line, Mike. That thing, but that was actual rubber. So all these other things I've been talking about as well is rubber. This more PVC-like material isn't as rubbery. Unless you play with the Storm Collectibles, it's not this rubbery material that you're kind of thinking it is. So should be fine, I think, on this one. What's up here from the chat there about carded Hulks and talking about Tag Tag. So yes, it's a chat away in the chat. Hello, we got a quarter of a century of people with us. So thank you for joining us live. I say if you haven't made yourself known in the chat, do come make yourself known, and I will say hello as we go through this week in toys. Your weekly live stream, the most consistent live stream on YouTube when it comes to action figure chat. That sentence may have been a lie, but yes. So I'm here when I can be, but it's nice to be back talking toys. Yes, it's a soft vinyl. Yes, Clouds of Weather, soft vinyl, not rubber. So you should be okay. Like the Mondo figures up here, like the Leo I showed earlier, soft vinyl figure. So shouldn't be any issues with soft vinyl there. And Virtual Dave, hello, Andrew, is tempted by the Hulk, bit of Hulk temptation. Yeah, I've got plenty of Hulks. I'm okay. If you haven't got a Hulk, then probably the best value Hulk you're probably going to get is this one for the amount of stuff you're actually going to get if you like the head sculpt. So that is the Hulk himself. I've lost my mouse. Get on the right screen, mouse. So I've not fully covered the April 1st reveals. With just a bit of a summary screen there here. So shout out to Toy Arc for doing the work for me there. So we've what we got? We got the Thunderbolts. Looking forward to the film, but couldn't give two shits about the figures because I don't collect MCU. So I'm afraid I'm not the channel for MCU coverage. The Spidey, that has reminded me of something. The Spidey there, the Spidey from Spider-Man 3, because I've got one of those on the way, and they've just shown a blogger photo. So let me jump around here. Oh, my bill's not going to be very good soon, because look what they've shown. It's the Hot Toys version of said Spider-Man 3. They've got the blogger pictures out, which means the figure's probably not too far away. So here comes the £300 bill, because I do have this version on pre-order. Now, Spider-Man 3, not the greatest movie of all time, but I'm quite nostalgic for it, to be honest. And I love emo Tobey Maguire. I actually DM'd Ryan Ting after his... he did get back to me as well after I DM'd him over his reference there to My Chemical Romance as he started singing lyrics from the Black Parade when this figure came out to represent emo Tobey. But I will be getting this version, not the Marvel Legends. So probably wasn't my most strategic financial decision, you see, to replace only buying select movie figures from Marvel. I thought, I'll just get them in Hot Toys rather than just getting them in Marvel Legends, because it's about $30 or so, £30 for the Marvel Legends version. This is 10 times the price, but it does look 10 times as good. So I'm quite happy. Apart from the fact they added in the Venom tongue, because that's not the right Venom head for this film. There is an alternate version they're actually putting in there, one that's crawling over his face, which is a bit more accurate, which is the same as the Marvel Legends one. But yeah, I got a bit of Hot Toys sidetrack there, but somebody did ask me about Hot Toys earlier, so we cover everything on this channel. So we'll get to the Leaky Leaks in a second, but we will just finish off on here. So not bothered about those. I've sold that. They did that version of Crossbones in the Thunderbolts box set many a moon ago now, didn't they? Quite a while ago indeed. So I do need that version because I actually sold that version. So I'm happy to get that. And I sold the Madam Mask as well. Or at least she's in the sale pile. If she hasn't sold, I can't fully remember. But she's not in the display. So an updated Madam Mask. That'll be one for me. Weapon X. I've got the other version, so I'm not particularly fussed about this version. Mystique again, I've got the original version, so again, I'm not too fussed about this version on the retro card. Not a lot of upgrades in it, to be honest. It's on the pinless body, but they've not really upgraded it too much, the Mystique, apart from the fact she's on pinless. And mine doesn't have jelly legs. Mine may have pins in her legs, but she's never fallen off the shelf once. So my Mystique is quite stable. So it's the same head sculpt as well. So unless you want it on the retro card, if you've got the other one, I wouldn't be too fussed about upgrading, unless you're a hashtag pin snob, as we like to say these days. So, yeah, I wouldn't be too fussed with that one. Weapon X, yeah, it's a slightly different version than the other one. We got, I think it's red, the cables on the other one. This one's blue, and they got alternate head. So I probably actually will pick myself up a Weapon X when it comes to the retro carded version here. The man with no nipples, as he's suddenly become known. But then the standout reveal of the day, really, it's this She-Hulk, isn't it? I think she looks, pardon the pun, she looks fantastic. She really does look fantastic on the Fantastic Four retro card there for She-Hulk. she could be a double potentially. I think for me, I think she might have to have her on the wall in that card. I do like the new head sculpt she's got on in the Fantastic Four uniform as well. So I do like this version of Jen. When is she up for pre-order? The 24th. So we've got a couple of weeks yet until she comes out. And there's old Maximum Hulk. So I think is that everything from the fan stream? I think it really was, wasn't it? So that's the fan stream covered for Marvel Legends as we rapid fire through all these different bits of toy news as I try to catch up here live on the YouTube. But I suppose it's time for to talk about leaky leaks, as I'd like to call them. So let's end the poll in the chat, I remember, and let's see what's won the poll in the chat. So we've had 24 votes, and the winner is this Secret Wars Wave 2. Everybody in the chat is looking forward to the most, followed by the Deadpool and Wolverine movie stuff, followed by the Spidey Wave, and not many people bothered by the 2-pack as the favourite. So you can see I'm on Marvelous News here as we have the leak. So JC's done some coverage, of course, of David Display's model behavior. So it was David that did the leak. So shout out to Model Behavior. That is linked in the Marvelous News article. If you've not seen the video yet, where he goes through the leaks of potentially 2026, I think he said some of these are coming. So he's been pretty accurate in the past. He's got a few things slightly wrong. So he's not quite up to the rectangular level of leaks just yet in terms of 100% accuracy. We still haven't seen everything from the list, or maybe some of it does get moved around. But there's effectively the list you can see for yourself. I know we have had some coverage yesterday from Dan and Rich on this. So what have we got coming? We've got the Secret Wars Wave 2 card back. And then we've got the Deadpool stuff, the Kitty Pryde and Colossus, or the She Who Should Not Be Named, I should say, 2-pack. And then Spider-Man Retro Wave and potential Incredible Hulk figures, but not much known apart from Abomination. So that's got me intrigued, is the potential Incredible Hulk figures. We could do with an A-bomb, couldn't we? We could do with a new Abomination. So there's plenty of characters within the Hulk world that we could do. We could do with a Hulk sort of retro card as well, which we've not seen within Marvel Legends, and I wouldn't be too mad at. But what we're going to do, because I said last night I'd do this, so I'm going to do this. So David Displays covered the leaks. JC then covered David Displays, and then Dan Who covered JC. So shout out to Mr. Dan Who himself and Rich M last night. They have a whole stream on the leak, so go and check that one out if you've not seen it. But Dan then prepared these additional graphics. So they covered one covered the other. So I said, I'm going to cover you boys. So I am keeping my word. I am here covering the footage from Dan and Rich. No copyright strikes, boys. I've done none of that out there. So I'm going to cover their footage. And the challenge goes out to Justin Collects on his live stream tomorrow night. That's, I believe it's about 8:45 Eastern in the US on a Saturday night. Check out Justin Collects. He'll be on with Alexi Kenny from Encounter Culture and David Evan Smith. And I hope they will do some coverage of me as we keep the train going throughout the Hugh Crew network here on YouTube covering. So we're going to use Dan's fancy graphic here to talk about Secret Wars Wave 2. Now, I really liked Wave 1. I'm not convinced by Wave 2 as of yet. So what have we got here? So from the leak list then, we're supposed to be getting a new Falcon. So I'm 100% on board for a new Falcon if we get the deep chest V, because we haven't had a deep chest V for the Falcon. So that is something that we definitely need to get within the Marvel Legends line. So put me in for one of them. Constrictor. Now, I do have the original version. It would be nice to get some more Serpent Society characters rather than ones we already have, but he is very much outdated. He's got the ball joint hips. He looks terrible. So he does need upgrading. So I'll be in for Constrictor upgrade. And then we've got the Absorbing Man. A character that's always larger, I would say, when it comes to your comic book panels. He's not always as big as the Builder figure we had previously. I can get good at this pouring stuff now. Haven't missed a drop. So he's always big, but he doesn't have to be Builder figure size, but he does have to be bigger. So he might not be that big because he's going to be fit on a retro card. I know they did the Sandman on the Spider-Man retro card, but he's so small. I've never bothered to actually undo him. He just sits on the retro card because I don't think he'll look that good in the collection. So, yeah, Absorbing Man, not particularly sold on. I'm assuming he's probably an expensive builder figure these days. I haven't checked, but I assume he's probably getting up there in price as we go through, because he is quite old now for your Absorbing Man. So yeah, not too mad, but maybe not one I could pass on there. And then Spidey and Daredevil. Now Daredevil, we don't get him a lot on the single card, do we? We get him a lot in excuse me, I went down the wrong way. In 2 packs or 3 packs. So I survived falling through the loft. But this is it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm choking on my own water live on YouTube. Get the ambulance on standby. Taken out in a YouTube live stream by swallowing water the wrong way. So, yeah. So Daredevil, I don't know. He's a popular character. If it's I don't know. I'm just not convinced on Daredevil. Anybody else there convinced on Daredevil? Is it just me? Not overly convinced we need another Daredevil, but I'm sure there's some out there that do want a Daredevil. And when we certainly do not need is another Spider-Man. Because they've done the black suit version on this, which is synonymous with Secret Wars. Secret Wars 8, the pose like this. I wonder if I could go back and do my pose. There you are. That's my Secret Wars Spider-Man pose. We needed that one, I would say, to get a pinless upgrade on that. But we got plenty of pinless Spider-Man. So yes, they do this one in really bright colours, or something slightly different. I can't imagine they're gonna reuse this straight away. I think Ryan Ting said they wouldn't be that silly to do that, so I don't think they'll actually do that. So an upgraded Spider-Man, I suppose, but I know Dan and Rich were talking maybe a battle damage version or some form of symbiote changing, but that wouldn't then be accurate to the Secret Wars card. And I know they like to try and be accurate to what the figure was originally for some of these, because the original figure was actually Rhodey, wasn't it? Or the original Iron Man in the story, actually, is Rhodey. But the original figure, the Mattel figure, had the little lenticular shield of Tony. So they kept that to be accurate to the original. So if Spidey is suddenly covered in symbiote goop or battle damage, and he's not technically accurate to the original card, so I can't see them doing it. So I can just see this being a straight bog standard Spider-Man. Which he always sells well, I suppose, but it doesn't have me overly excited for that. And then we've got the unknown figure. So take your guesses in the chat what you'd like to see as the 6th figure from. Again, these are just leaks from David Displays, so we don't know if they are accurate, but we are just talking about them. And I don't know, Volcano's shown there in Dan's graphic. I'd like to see Molecule Man potentially. So let me know in the chat. Let's see how the chat is doing there. Tanner's right with us. Tanner, you're not seeing any of the leaks yet. Oh, yeah, you're watching the Spurs game yesterday. 1-1, I see. Live from the stadium before your Wrestlemania trip there. So let's see if they do knock your socks off. Have your socks been knocked off, Tanner? So far, we have Secret Wars Wave 2 there. Kurt's fantasy booking stick. So I know I would like a stick. I am with you, Kurt. I do think we need stick in the line. Makasa there is saying, rubbing my hands seeing that Daredevil. So there you go. Somebody maybe newer to the collecting line. I'm assuming you're a bit newer to the action figure collecting game there. If you haven't got a Daredevil, again, this will be a nice, easy way to get one on a single card without being locked in to a pack. Oh, Doc Samson. Wouldn't mind a Doc Samson. He's not in Secret Wars, is he? From my memory. I don't think he is. Was the first Marvel graphic novel I ever read there. Damien's talking about having a wizard. Wouldn't mind a wizard in the line. And Cardiac, Kevin Beat is talking about. So we'll move on from Secret Wars. And we will scroll through Dan's footage because Cardiac is definitely, Dan does a lovely graphic. So we'll use Mr. Who's graphic. Where is it, son? About what is the Spidey Wave 2 there. So we've got a bit of an advertisement for Red Bull. There was I have to skip you around there, I'm afraid, son. There goes a 0.01p. There was let me get back down here to the comments. So, yes, Claw is part of Secret Wars. We haven't had him in a long time. I don't mind the other figure, though. I don't mind the original figure. I don't think it... Again, it's pinned. It's a bit skinny. So I probably could do an upgrade. Damien on Claw as well. So a couple of votes for for Claw there. But we're looking at here the Spider-Man wave. Again, a 50-50 wave for me. So you've got the Nightcrawler version of Spider-Man, which I quite frankly I've never heard of in my life. But apparently Nightcrawler is Spider-Man. And we've got another version of 2099 Spider-Man. We've got something that's on the leak list is written Spider-Man/Venom. So again, we don't know what that figure is. Then we have the 3 classic figures. We have the Owl, Hypno Hustler, and Cardiac then. So the 3 modern ones, because I assume this will be a split wave like previous wave, where you get the 3 modern Spider-Man cards and you get the 3 classic cards. So of course that means we do not get a Build-A-Figure in Spider-Man again. So I'm going to have another moan now. It is a night of moaning because I want my Man Spider. I want a Man Spider Build-A-Figure. Hopefully they'll do a deluxe at least. But yeah, so I need a Man Spider in my life. So a Build-A-Figure would have been nice, but I'll have to take a deluxe, I'm assuming, at this stage. Because it does seem we are literally only getting a couple of Build-A-Figures a year at this phase. But Cardiac's the big one, I think, down here. But we'll start with the Owl. So a classic Daredevil villain, really, Owl, within the line. So he is one that's been desperately needed. He's never had a Marvel Legend before. So I would be definitely down for getting him. I think he's a missing character within the collection. Probably a B sort of tier villain, but one I think we could definitely have within the line. Then we got the Hypno Hustler. Can't say I was particularly familiar with the Hypno Hustler. I have seen those images going around of Donald Glover talking about a Hypno Hustler film, so that's my only familiarity with it, really, having seen those going around the internet a few months ago. So I've seen that. Now there you go. Thumbs up for Owl there from Kurt, because of course that could go with Stick. Gets you one step closer. Hello to Lone Dragon, Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno 2-pack. So the classic 70s Hulk. I could see that selling very well, to be honest. That probably just going to come down to likeness rights. Can they get the likeness rights for that pack? Because I could see that selling very well indeed. And then Cardiac. So this has been caught up in a big likeness rights issue, seemingly, from what we've been told. I believe Bobby Valor has mentioned before that when he was there at Marvel, they couldn't do it because of potential rights issues with the ownership of the character and Eric Larson, etc., and who actually owns Cardiac, or something to do with the creation of Cardiac. They just couldn't get the license for that. But seemingly, from these leaked lists, they have got it and they can do Cardiac. I know Mike Hex has been with us a few times in the chat tonight. I think he said he spoke to Eric Larson before. And he says, no, he doesn't own it and Marvel should be fine. So hopefully, it seems we are going to get Cardiac, because I know he is up there on the most wanted list of people. And he's on my list as well. So sort of 90s Spider-Man villain, I say, rogue. He did a bit of both, didn't he, really? Did a Cardiac. So, yeah, he's definitely on the list. So he is up there for my most excited on the list. I say I like the idea of Hulk stuff. I like the idea of Cardiac and the Owl. Hypno Hustler I will buy. But the top 3, no, I'm not going to be bothered. I have actually purchased a Spider-Man 2099 this morning. Did go on Hobby Yankee and got the Mafex version, because I've started to see the images come out, some of the reviews of that. And it's one I didn't pre-order and thought, hold on, I think I need that. So the Mafex version has been ordered. Not too bad, about £70, because I think I'll be having maybe a shelf of Mafex in this sort of area as I try to work for you some of these extra toy cubes that I've got to fill these days. So have to wait for me. But of course, we don't know what that Spidey Venom is. If that is a version I would like, then okay. But yeah, it just depends really on that. And the 2099, we've had him on his classic suit on the retro card. So would they do it again? This time on a new body? Maybe. So I didn't get that version. I think I've still got the original version of the 2099. So we will see. We will see. And the final thing on the list, I think, was the Deadpool stuff, wasn't it? It's a Deadpool and the 2-pack. So 2-pack, of course, relating to Kitty Pryde for the astonishing X-Men team. You can see there. Well, you can't see there. Ultra fast broadband this time is popping in. There was that's an erotic pause on Dan's face. I managed to do that. There you go. Give him a nice face for the stream. So you'll be watching the rest of this on the replay and seeing his own little face. So there is the Astonishing X-Men team. I've got the omnibus, but as you probably know, I've not read it because I haven't opened half the omnibus, so I do need to read the Astonishing X-Men. So this will get us pretty much nearly there to a complete team. We're just going to need Beast if this Kitty Pryde and Colossus 2-pack is to be a thing. And the rest of the wave was leaked stuff. If we go back to the list here, was from the Deadpool and more Wolverine movie. So Cassandra Nova, Cowboy Deadpool, I'm sure that's going to be popular. X-23, so Laura Dane, Blade, and Wolverine. A popular film, so I could see some of those selling quite well. Cassandra Nova would be pretty cool to get, but again, I don't collect the MCU now, so I'm going to move swiftly on those ones. And we're going to pop over here to Facebook. So that was your Marvel Legends section. But ladies and gentlemen, yo, Joe, it's time to talk G.I. Joe then on the stream. Because this has come out in the past few days, or 7 days ago now, actually. Because, of course, I am up to date with This Week in Toys, getting back into the live stream game. Okay, don't forget to smash that like button. I'm supposed to say that on YouTube. Hit that like button. Please do share and comment if you're on the replay crew as well. Just to get the algorithm back into it would be nice. So people can see I'm here. I'm here, YouTube. I'm not dead. That would be very nice indeed. But G.I. Joe, this is very nice indeed, because this is it's no longer Pulse exclusive from 2026. So UK only, G.I. Joe Classified was made Pulse exclusive 2023 now, I think it was. It's been a couple of years at least. It's been Pulse exclusive, and it was a very good selling line, the independent retailers told us, and it was taken away from them. Because I think Hasbro decided they're going to take over their own brand, really. So eliminating their own competition, which just, wasn't the greatest thing to do. And it doesn't go very well because G.I. Joe has not sold as well since it's been Pulse exclusive. It doesn't necessarily sell out like some of the other lines do on Hasbro Pulse. So it does seem they are going back on that decision, and they will be having G.I. Joe back on UK independents from 2026. So during this time, a lot of the UK independents have sold the line as import stock, usually for a slight little markup. But now they'll be able to buy it directly from Hasbro UK. So prices should be more stable on this. Tariffs aside, well, you can, have you not seen that bit? Go watch my tariff rant from earlier. That was part of the stream. So yes, that's good news. Good news, people. Good news. Very happy with that. That G.I. Joe will be going more, and it gives us a bit more competition, which is a good thing for consumer prices. Because look at all this. This is all this Hasbro Pulse UK, all the recent pre-orders, and there's nothing that's sold out. So what seems to do, a lot of it then goes to clearance, and then the UK independents buy the clearance stock. So hopefully we could have it a bit more sort of reasonably priced from the independents. The line might start to sell a bit better. So this is really good news for the line there. Yes, really good news indeed, I think, for the G.I. Joe Classified line. Because I've not actually pre-ordered any of this Joe stuff yet, but I do. There's quite a lot of it I want. But looking at the total cost of that bill, and with Pulse's delivery dates are just all over the place. So I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but it is stuff that I need to actually do get on once it comes into stock. So G.I. Joe Classified from 2026, and we've got another 8 months or so, but then it will be coming back to UK independence. We're covering, I said, all sorts of toy news tonight, and here we are with McFarlane. So one of my best videos I think I've ever done on the channel in terms of view count was about a month ago when Todd lost the license. I think about 7,000 views. So thank you everybody that watched that one. But Todd's lost the license. He's got just less than a year left now with the license. But he's stepped it up a bit here with this particular release. This is, I know, a very, very wanted line. It is the Batman Returns movie figures. And these look pretty good. So, well, from the digital renders anyway. So you've got Michael Keaton Batman in his 1992 suit, the Danny DeVito Penguin, the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, Then we have Max Shrek there, the Christopher Walken Max Shrek, and Penguin Commando. So you actually can army build yourself some penguins. Now, I have pulled out, as I say, all my MCU figures, and I've pulled out all my McFarlane movie figures, and they are in the aforementioned sale pile. And then he announced this, because I thought, I've got the Hot Toys versions of a lot of these characters from the Batman movies. I probably don't need these versions from McFarlane. I'll just keep the Batmobiles and display those with the Hot Toys. And then he goes and announced this, the one thing I don't have in Hot Toys form, because they haven't made Catwoman or Penguin. They've made the Batman. It's on pre-order, so I've got that on pre-order, but I grew up on this film, this Batman Forever. But Batman Forever was the first one I saw in the cinema, but I did have the VHS as a kid of Batman Returns and Batman. I don't know. This one sticks in my head a lot. The opening scene with the little penguin going over the bridge in his little pram and getting dropped off in the water. It's a Christmas movie almost, this film. So it sticks in my head quite a lot. I had the figures. I had a penguin figure. I had that Catwoman. So there's a lot of nostalgia in this for me. So it's kind of pulling me in. And because this is pulling me in, this is the reason I fell down the loft. Because this is what I was potentially making room for. So I was up in the loft and I thought, okay, maybe I'll keep the Batman movie stuff and I'll put all the Batmobiles around it and I'll do that as a loft display. Just put it up there as I was displaying the loft. And then I was reaching to put a Batmobile over on the side. That's when I stood on the panel I shouldn't have stood through and bang straight through the ceiling. So now this is a traumatic wave for me now because this is the reason I fell through the bloody ceiling. So Todd nearly killed me. So do I collect this line or not? Let me know in the chat and let me know in the comments if you're on the replay. Do I buy the Batman Returns figures? Now, I'd like to sell the other figures because that Poison Ivy is worth quite a bit of money. So that could be very helpful for future toy collecting habits if I could sell that. But yeah, I don't know what to do now. So anybody else picking these up in the comments there? Damien said we need a Duckmobile. Yes, I saw people on Legends of Liquor talking about the Duckmobile. Death by McFarlane. Literally, Kurt. It was literally death by McFarlane. So I don't know what to do with these. They do look good. Maybe I should just wait for the hot toy. I think that might be the sensible thing to potentially do there. I don't know. I will see when it comes to the McFarlane movie stuff. There we go. Virtual Days won't keep the figures. Keep the figures. Oh, I don't know. I do not know what to do. I know Matt suggested have a mint on card set of these just to remind myself of the time that I fell through the ceiling. So we've got a couple more topics tonight to cover before we get out of here. And we're going to go over in a second to Mondo. If I have a dedicated spot, isn't the loft and do it? Yes, the loft is off. It's off limits. Dan, who is banned me from the loft, I had a voice note in a minute banning me from ever entering the loft again. The display space is now here to my side. There is plenty of display space now with these 50 extra cubes we have gained. That will be a future video on the channel when I actually fill these units. So there's going to be plenty of room. We're going to have Star Wars on the top with all the vehicles, some of the Four Horsemen stuff on the bottom, but the Mafex, a bit of Storm. But effectively, I've got like at least, 10 to 20 empty cubes. So space I've got, but I don't know. What are you saying there? Do you think Mattel will make them? If not, no, I don't think Mattel will make them. That's another good point, Damien. I don't think Mattel will make the old school movie stuff. I think they'll focus on the modern movie stuff. And they're all okay. A lot of enabling going on in this chat. I'm seeing, gents, a lot of enabling there. So, let's see what they look like when they come out, shall we? Let's see what they look like when they get into production. And I'll make a decision then. So they're currently in the sale pile, but they've not been sold. So we will see. I don't know. On the fence. But something I'm not on the fence about is Mondo. So, where do we start here? They had a panel, and they showed some stuff on the panel that they are going to be having the license for Superman, the animated series, when it comes to their 12-inch 1/6 scale figures. And they also showed a render for Mr. Sinister from the X-Men line. So I've never actually watched Superman the Animated Series. I've got the DVD, but I've never opened it. Batman the Animated Series. Yeah, that, X-Men and Spider-Man. Bread and butter. Absolute childhood bread and butter for me. Watched them all the time. My gateway into Marvel and DC was effectively those shows. So definitely, I've never been that into Superman. And now I'm thinking about it out loud, giving myself some sort of a psychoanalytics here. It's probably because I didn't watch it as a kid. I didn't watch the Superman animated series as a child. So I haven't got nostalgia for that one. So I'm going to hope I can be strong and pass on these. Because you will see a video probably at some point coming up when I showcase the Mondos. I've actually gone down from 4 cabinets to 3 because Cheeky Monkey needed some desk space. So, yeah, she had needed a bit of desk space in the living room. So the sacrifices I make there, what you do for love, people see. She gave me more toy space, but I did have to sacrifice a Mondo cabinet. So I'm down to 3. So I haven't got excessive amount of space in the Mondo. I thought that was a good thing. She gets her desk, and it stops me buying all the characters within the Mondo line, and maybe just go to what I see the more essential characters within the Mondo line. So Mr. Sinister, that will be an essential character for the X-Men, so he'll be being purchased. And before I get to Carnage there, I'll actually go to Nightcrawler then, which I don't think is. So I'm going to offend Bring Toys to Work here. If you're watching on a replay, Michael, I'm very sorry. I don't think Nightcrawler is an essential character to the animated series collection. He's not in the 1992 animated series that much. He's not a core team member. So he's not a core team member. I think I'm going to pass on this figure. You can hold me to that when it goes up for pre-order and I crack. But if I'm cutting down on space and I just want the core main X-Men team with the villains, I probably don't need Nightcrawler. Now, he might be an X-Men 97 a bit more if we go through that, but I can collect that in Hasbro. So I might pass on this Nightcrawler. I was quite surprised to see Nightcrawler, actually, before we get to characters like Beast within the actual main team. I was quite surprised we actually saw, or Charles Xavier himself. Bloody hell, that'll be expensive, won't it, when that comes to the hover chair. Yeah, I was quite surprised we saw Nightcrawler this early within the line. So, yeah, I might pass on him. I might pass on the Superman. See, I'm learning. I'm being strong. Willpower, I've learned since falling through the stairs. But one thing I have no willpower for is Spider-Man the animated series. And oh, yes, Carnage. Carnage. How good does that look? That looks. So this is the one figure within the Hasbro line that isn't very good within the Spider-Man VHS collection. It doesn't look like animated Carnage enough to me. They've tried to recreate it, but they failed miserably. This looks exactly like animated Carnage. The sculpting on this just looks phenomenal. So this is one I am 100% going to be going to be purchasing. Look at that! Can't wait to see all the accessories. I think they were shown within the actual panel itself, but not in physical form. So I think he looks absolutely fantastic. So Carnage is coming. Oh, I can't wait to see more in this line. As you know, if you've seen the channel before and you're this far into the live stream, you know I take a lot of Mondo. And I want Hobgoblin, Kingpin, imagine Scorpion, Rhino. Oh my goodness. That's going to be a lot of space I'm going to need within the collection for Spider-Man, the animated series. So there's Carnage. There's 2 more things from Mondo I want to talk about. The first one, though, is one Damien asked way back with channel membership token at Start Stream. Is the real Ghostbusters? So we were finally shown the next 2-pack there. So it is the Sandman, I do believe, is the villain in this 2-pack we are getting there. And that's a big figure, isn't it? That looks very, very big indeed. The articulation doesn't look like you're going to get a lot of articulation out of that, to be honest, within this one, because you're literally just going to. It's almost like a 5 POA figure. I would say it's going to be massive. And of course, it is going to be $202, or is it? Because actually, going back to our tariff talk from earlier, the one thing I didn't get up was the Mondo website. And they have pulled all pre-orders from their website. So all stuff that's in stock and shipping now is on there. But all pre-order stuff they pulled down because I didn't manage to pre-order the vinyl shredder because it's been taken down. So I'm assuming just while they see these tariffs out, hopefully, they've taken all the pre-orders down. So Mondo might be a bit quiet on that front for now because we don't want these to be particularly even more expensive when they're already very high end. Imagine having 145% on top. Should we do that, friend? Let's have a bit of a laugh, shall we? Let's have a bit of a laugh here. So again, I said they'd be on this, they're on wholesale prices, but we'll just do it on retail prices. So $202 plus 145%. Don't panic, people. That would only cost you $495. Brilliant. $495. This is a £500 set all of a sudden. Again, that's me not working out the tariffs in a very realistic manner. It would be less than that, but you can see the idiocy back to the tariffs. So they've been pulled down. So I don't know if I'm going to get this one. I'm definitely going to get I want all 4 Ghostbusters, but you can buy them separately. Do I need the Sandman? So I've gone for the Boogeyman and I've gone for Sam Hain. But do I need the Sandman in the collection? It's so big and there's not a lot of movement on it. Do I? I don't know. I probably will do because I kind of probably want at least 4 of the big ghosts within the collection. But this is the one I've been a bit on the fence about when it comes to this line. The other 2 ghosts, yeah, I didn't like paying the price, but I paid the price because I wanted those. But this one I'm not so convinced on that I actually need. Damien is asking in the chat, I'm thinking of building a display out the HQ, thinking to add over hanging shelves between the boxes to create a display option. So, yes, they have shown the packaging, haven't they? I think in some images out there where the packaging is going to be like the Ghostbusters Firehouse there. So you could use that as a diorama sort of backdrop. Again, come back to the Turtles cards. They did give you these extra. I'll just go back to full screen a second. They gave you this lovely minty card that comes with those vinyl turtles. They give you a completely separate card just so you could do something like that. You could build a diorama out of the card. So, yeah, as long as there's a decent bit of card in there, that's something you potentially could do. Yes, you can track yourself a nice actual Fire Station playset from the original Kenner line, I do believe. That is what I did within the. I found it at Toy Fair, actually, one of the vintage playsets. Will Mondo ever get to an Ecto 1 or a Firehouse? Well, time will tell on that one. But our final topic tonight is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Andrew's saying there, yeah, getting the Ghostbusters, not the Ghost. That is definitely the cheaper option. Because Mondo have shown the prototype for the 2000X He-Man. Now, this is something I thought, I could probably just pass on by. But now I've seen it, I'm like, oh, that looks good. And I think I might be in. I don't know what the price is going to be. That's the sticking point here. They have said that the Masters of the Universe line will be cheaper than Ghostbusters. So this is 1/12 scale. It's not 12-inch. It is 6-inch figures for the 2000X show. And I'm thinking if I'm going to do 2003 Turtles, I've got to do 2002, 2003 He-Man. Surely, haven't I? I don't know. This could be a collection I think I could do. So this could be quite fun. It's just I don't know what the price is going to be. The licensing, I think, is the reason why Ghostbusters are £100 for a Ghostbuster. So if these were 50, I'd be in on these. If they were 75, I'd have to do a bit more thinking. But I don't think they'll be 100 because they've said that. So are they going to be 50, 75? And are they going to come to international retailers? If they come to UK retailers, again, definitely more likely because Mondo shipping is quite expensive. It's all right on the 12-inch stuff because the shipping's free. But they do charge shipping on the Ghostbusters because it's not. They only do free shipping on 12-inch stuff. So that's going to depend really on the cost of this. They showed a panel as well. Skeletor, they showed Clawful, and they showed Man-at-Arms. So we're definitely going straight into a line on this. I don't know. Well, that's Kiara's losing on Death's Face in 6 months. Tanner, you have no faith in me. I haven't got rid of the DTOF. I will say it's just been dismantled and put it into storage. So, well, she might get rid of it. She wants to build a summer house. That's her ultimate plan, I think. She wants to build a summer house, but the garden needs sorting out before she could possibly look into that. And then I could bring the cabinet back. But so yeah, Tana's cottoned onto me already. Absolutely shocking. But yeah, He-Man. Anybody else in the chat? Well, again, if you're watching on the replay, in the comments, He-Man, Masters of the Universe 2002, double jointed elbows. These could be really. The paint's going to be great on these, isn't it? Look at the paint on those Ghostbusters we just seen. The paint on these is going to be really, really good. So I could be potentially in on this. I'm already on eBay, people. Look, I'm on eBay. It's like looking at a 2002 Castle Grayskull. So we'll get to Toy Fair in a minute, but I could be working for one of those at Toy Fair. So keep your eye out. As I say, we just finish off on He-Man here because there's been more stuff from Mattel with regards to the He-Man line. And of course, they've shown some of the stuff for later in the year for the cartoon collection. A collection I'm literally all in on. So Grislaw, Fangman, Orko, Bo, Whiplash, and a Shadow Weaver, all fully shown there for the cartoon collection. So yeah, I'll be all in on those. No problem at all. That'll be a nice little display. Starting to build out a really nice, colourful cartoon display from those. Now, I believe Virtual Dave in the chat is a big fan of these Thundercat figures. I told him I hate them. And I'm sticking by it. I don't like these at all. I do not like these Thundercat crossover figures at all. It may just be me, but they're doing absolutely nothing for me. Now, he has shown, I think, a picture where you can take off the armor and make them more regular looking Thundercats. And I would admit, they do look better as He-Man style Thundercats. But the designs for these crossover, I just don't like these crossover designs. Definitely they look better as a standard figure, but I don't know. These are weird. These are just blowing my mind. These really are. Yeah, they're not doing a lot for me. And in the middle, New Eternia. Yeah, I don't collect it anymore either. So I used to collect it, but yeah, I kind of went off the New Eternia stuff. But there is the Blade from the 87 movie there. Cobra Khan looks kind of cool. So again, those designs have started to develop and look much better. I think those first were a bit ropey, the first few waves of the Masterverse stuff, but it has got better. There is a so we will see on that one. What I'm saying in the chat, disappointed Grizzly doesn't come with real fur. Yes, so the version in the standard Origins line does come with the real fur. Well, not real fur, but it does come with furry fur at least. But this version, being a bit more cartoon, doesn't seem to come with that. It's to fit that cartoon aesthetic, I think, a bit more. And then Tanner's saying there, not as good as the I don't know. Now, another one, Tanner. I don't like those either. I can't stand the Turtles of Grayskull figures. Don't like any of them. There is a, which I have covered before on the chat. I just don't. I've got a thing clearly. My thing is I do not like Masters of the Universe crossover figures. Mashing the two. It's probably my brain, you see. I can't mix displays. As I famously said before on the channel, I cannot mix displays. So maybe the fact that they've mixed lines just throws my little brain off, and I can't cope with it. I don't know. I just don't like the. There's Virtual David. There's Thundercats love there. I like the Super 7 Thundercats figures. I've got quite a few of those. Haven't got myself the big play set though from them, but the cat's there. But yeah, I don't know. I can't deal with crossovers. That is my takeaway from this section. But that, I think, in just over 2 hours, I've covered nearly all the toy news that I've gone through. So I will just shout out this Sunday then. So it's the NEC Toy Fair in Birmingham this Sunday. So if you're around in the Birmingham area this Sunday, it's the UK's biggest toy fair. And there's loads of us going down there. So do come and say hello. And if you do see us there, say hi. It'd be nice to meet some people there that we haven't met before. I know quite a lot of us are coming down for a bit of a meetup at the NEC Toy Fair. And I'm apparently on the lookout for 2000X Castle Grayskull is on my list to actually do that. So NEC Toy Fair this weekend. Will somebody be there with a Castle Grayskull playset? But that's where I will be on Sunday. So do come and say hello if you are going to be there. It's definitely worth a trip. It's very, very busy. There's like 500 different stalls throughout the event covering all sorts of aspects of toy collecting. And the final tab, I've made it to the final tab. My voice is going now because I've talked far too long on my own, but the final tab. Oh, yeah, it's WrestleMania coming up. We are 1 week away. WrestleMania is 1 week tomorrow. So what does that mean? It's my birthday. So my birthday, for the first time ever, for this massive wrestling fan, my birthday is on WrestleMania weekend. So I am very much looking forward to that. Our good friend in the chat, Super Turk 5000, will be there in person. So will I get to shout, "It's Tanner," this time again? If I can see him on the... Where are you sitting? Are you sitting anywhere close to a camera? So can we see Tanner in the middle of Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas for 2 nights of WrestleMania? And the last couple of years, I have done a live stream on night 1. So let me know in the comments if you would like to see a live stream this year. Can I get through what's rumored to be over 9 hours a night? Technically, I think there's going to be a 3-hour pre-show, a 4-hour show, and a 2-hour post-show or something. But can I get through 4 hours of talking on the main card and then stay up for 2 nights in a row? Why is it always on the middle of the night, people? Why is it always on the middle of the night? So it's going to be a midnight start. So it's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, the 19th of April at midnight UK time. WrestleMania will kick off from Las Vegas. You can see that's the night 2 main event. John Cena and Cody Rhodes. And where's the night 1 main event? It's not even showing on there for seeing Roman, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins there. Yeah, it's I know. Poor Tanner. I am poor. I bought far too many action figures, as you can see, to buy the WrestleMania ticket. In fact, I don't actually own a passport, people, so that's one thing I do need to actually get if I ever did want to go to WrestleMania. This year, I think, could have been a year I would have gone. But, yeah. Far too many action figures in this house to go to WrestleMania, unfortunately. So hopefully one year it comes to the UK. And that's a good point, Virtual Abe, as well. It's a bank holiday weekend as well. So Friday, it's a long weekend, isn't it? This Easter weekend, it's WrestleMania weekend. It's your birthday. Well, it's WrestleMania, my birthday, for the first time ever. But yes, it's my first time ever. I am only 1. Well, there you are. See? Yeah. I should be doing a live stream at that age. But John Cena, Cody Rhodes. So if you want a live stream, let me know. Otherwise, I will watch it. I will watch it in quiet by myself. If you want to see it, let me know. Kev got the whole weekend off already for WrestleMania. But 2 hours and 7 minutes in, we've done it. We have covered This Week in Toys. I've fallen down the stairs, well, through the ceiling, technically. Again, if you haven't seen that video, do go back and watch yesterday's video titled Action Figure Saved My Life. And you'll see where I've been. But I'm here. Toys will eventually be coming to the units to my side. I'll do a whole proper video on the rest of this room. But I've got maneuvers. I can move in a room. I haven't actually had any dinner yet. So 10 past 10 at night here in the UK, I might have some dinner. The live streaming will continue. If you haven't watched Dan Who's replay, go and check him and Rich out last night. And don't forget to subscribe to Justin Collects as well. He'll be live tomorrow with the boys talking all things action figures. I am very sure of that. Hopefully, you'll keep the coverage train going for the leaky leaks. So, Toys and Tariffs holiday. I've been a right moany sod, but I've enjoyed it at least. I've had a good moan, a good vent, a good rant, and it's been nice to see everybody in the chat with us. So if you're on the replay crew and you've got to the end, or if you're here live, go in the comments after, try and boost that algorithm, share the video, and write hashtag fell through the ceiling. Hashtag fell through the ceiling. We can have that to show me you've got all the way to the end of the video. As I say, hit that like button if you could. That'll help the algorithm. Join the channel membership and help support if you can as well. And I'm in a very pink light here, but I've made it. This Week in Toys will come to an end. So I will find a live stream. So I will potentially be back next weekend for WrestleMania. Hopefully there'll be some toy videos to come in the week. As I say, there's plenty of other videos on the channel to catch up on if you have not seen any recently. But I say, plenty of toy maneuvers to come. And if you're in person in the Birmingham area, I will see you at NEC Toy Fair this Sunday. But ladies and gentlemen, I've been Jay. This has been Jay's Toy Collection UK, and I will see you, of course, on the next video.